A lot. Police use jurisdiction when you try to turn them in to a hospital in a different jurisdiction. They slander your name to the hospital. It's called a rubber stamp. This is why it's important for you to have your own doctor, for you to have your own lawyer, but you're not going to have that if you're broke, and they prey on that. It's not that I didn't try to get help. It's that I had no friends that cared. They had their own assumptions, and they ran with them instead of listening to the victim. Denver 7 newsroom number. Oh, come on. This is one of the news agencies that went out of their way to slander my name and then went out of their way to ignore me. Oh, come on. Why the hell isn't it working? Jesus Christ. Maybe if I hold it out the door, it'll catch some reception somehow. I did plan on using this to make some phone calls. Why the hell ain't my internet working? Alright, maybe this will work. Denver 7 newsroom number. Well, I guess I need to write that down. My hand's already hurting from that. I do have some electrical tape, so I can tape my hand around it if need be. That'll make it a little bit difficult to write stuff, but we'll put this in. Oh, that ain't it. Accidentally hit something. Well, I guess it's time to call Denver 7 News and get blackballed again. They weren't very nice last time I got a hold of them.
Denver 7 and Local 3, I'm Shannon Ogden. If you have a news tip or you'd like to leave a message for Denver 7 Investigates, press 2. To contact our news assignment desk, press 3. For Denver 7 and Local 3 programming questions, press 4. Interested in advertising with Denver 7 or Local 3? Press 5. If you're having problems receiving our channels, press 6. For a full Denver 7 and Local 3 station staff directory, press 7. To repeat these options, press 8. And to speak with us, thank you for calling Denver 7 and Local 3. I'm Shannon Ogden. If you have a news tip or you'd like to leave a message for Denver 7 Investigates, press 2. To contact our news assignment desk, press 3.
Right?
For Denver 7 and Local 3 programming questions, press 4. Interested in advertising with Denver 7 or Local 3? Press 5. If you're having problems receiving our channels, press 6. For a full Denver 7 and Local 3 station staff directory, press 7. To repeat these options, press 8. And to speak with our front desk, press 0. Denver 7, how can I direct your call?
I'm not sure. That's why I actually called you. There's 2 stories that are run frequently on your station, and there's actually a third one that has been run that I believe should be run again. And in all 3 of these cases, I actually have a lot of information about them, and I've actually been speaking up about these situations since before you guys broke the articles. One of them is a situation involving Officer Waylon Lolatai. He assaulted me in January of 2018 over the death of Natalie Bollinger. And he's been on your channel quite a bit because he's been causing a lot of trouble and hurting a lot of innocent people. Another one is the closing of Clearview Behavioral Health when they were illegally drugging people and holding people longer than they should have in order to gain insurance money and stuff like that. I started speaking up about that all the way in February of 2018. These are 2 places that basically were trying to help frame me for the murder of Natalie Bollinger, but they actually found her murderer a few days after I was released from Clearview. So
let me actually get you to our news desk.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
They would be the ones to speak with regarding any stories that have aired or regarding any stories that take on.
Yes, ma'am. Okay? Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Give me just a moment here. Let me get you transferred over.
Thank you.
Hi, thanks for calling Denver 7. This is Ann Trujillo.
And I'm Denver 7.
Hello. There's 3 articles that you guys keep printing repeatedly, and they're also situations that I have a lot of intimate knowledge about, as well as a lot of evidence of. One of them is Clearview Behavioral Health, which was changed to Johnstown Behavioral Health. You guys ran some articles and actually continue to run them about Clearview and the continued problems there with them harming people, keeping people there longer than they should, the doctors not visiting patients, having unprofessional staffing there. I spoke up about this in, February of 2018, and you guys actually aired a story about it in 2019 and continue to run stories on it. The most recent was just a month or so ago. I was one of the victims of Clearview, which is why I've been speaking out, and I've been trying to get assistance. Instead, I was victimized into leaving state. I was assaulted there and illegally drugged and kept for quite a while, and then they dumped me out on the streets. Matter of fact, they made sure they dumped me as far away from my evidence or any way to turn them in as possible. I've attempted to contact Johnstown police about the situation on multiple occasions. They're not listening. They're blackballing me. There's another situation. The reason that I was sent to Clearview, I was being harmed by police officers, one of them being Waylon Lolatai. I started speaking up about him in January of 2018, right after he assaulted me. I found out later he had previously assaulted someone in Denver. He also assaulted at least 6 other individuals after me, one of them being Sammy Leon Lawrence IV, and he also pulled a shotgun on Zayd Atkinson. These are also 2 other major stories that you guys have run, some of them repeatedly. I have intimate knowledge with that situation. They tried taking me to the hospital in Boulder and assaulted me there while trying to paint me as a violent schizophrenic in the death of Natalie Bollinger, which is the 3rd one that you guys have run stories on. But nobody has acknowledged I spoke out about all these situations before you ran the stories. I've still been blackballed repeatedly by law enforcement because they They tried to brush everything under the rug, which is what gave Waylon Lolatai a big head and resulted in him harming a lot of people. With Clearview Behavioral Health, I spoke out openly, and they got a big head when no consequences came about, and it resulted in them harming a lot more people. I'm sure you might even remember the story about the death of Tibor Hatay at the hands of Clearview staff.
Best I could do is I can give you Tony Kovalevsky's email. He's the reporter that's been working on these stories, and you can contact him directly. I'm at our assignment desk here, so I handle a lot of day-to-day and breaking news. But Tony would be able to sort of read through your email, and if you wanted to add anything if you wanted to sort of make your point about our coverage, you're welcome to email him.
Yes, sir. Give me just 1 second. All right, I got a pen handy. Go ahead.
Okay, I just got to pull it up so I get the spelling right. Give me 1 sec here. It's Tony, Tony,
Okay.
dot Kovalevski at denver7.com.
Denver.
And it's the number 7.
All right, thank you. There's a lot of other stories I've broken recently, too, that have been in the news, so hopefully he'll work with me.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Now I'm busy exposing Tillamook. What happened to Clearview, by the way? They got closed down for doing exactly what I told you they were doing. What happened to Waylon Lolatai? He was all over the news for exactly what I told you he was doing. Multiple times, might I add. There's also the death of Natalie Bollinger, and that's not one that Tony Kovalevsky covered. However, there was a man who was involved in the death of Natalie Bollinger by the name of Darren O'Conner, and he was involved with Tony Kovalevsky. Now, I believe I've already been blackballed from Denver 7 News, but we'll try it again, won't we? Of course we will. A little bit difficult to do, but so goes life. I can't function to do all these things because I am overwhelmed with being sent around in circles. Every place that I call, I end up with an average of 3 more numbers to call. And oftentimes 2 to 3 transfers to places that they won't give me numbers for. They won't give me the extension number, but they'll transfer me. So I just ask for the transfer now. Being forced into homelessness for trying to get help stopping abuse, for trying to turn in my abusers. This is horrible. These people pretend that my disabilities don't exist because I'm intelligent. But only when it suits them. Then they pretend my intelligence doesn't exist. By claiming I have disabilities I don't have. Darren O'Conner, he got most of the names from me. He got most of the information on the victims that I know from me. I did everything that I could to help get the information about other victims of Whale and Lolotai to Darren O'Conner as quickly as possible, because he promised to help me to turn this stuff in. And all these people who want to be bullies, if I drag them into court, guaranteed they're going to want to chat up all the good things that they did for me, which is absolutely wonderful, because these are all things they should have come forward with to begin with. Of course, this time they're going to try to say those things as if I'm a bad person, because they did this and they did that and they did all these other things, or were going to in some cases. And I'm going to say, hey, I told you. In every one of those cases, I'm going to say, hey, I sang your praises. I told the truth about the things that you did. I also told the truth about the things you promised to do. I also told the truth when you didn't keep your promises. I'm supposed to go to a trusted friend or family member when I'm abused, but I don't have any, because I've already done so. And all they wanted to do is talk over me. They have no fucking clue what's going on. They've already decided that the fix for me is this fucking magic goddamn carpet ride in their head. They're off in fucking La La Land, tweaking in the clouds. But it don't matter, does it? I'm not a human being. So, just like in Nebraska, just like in Colorado, just like in South Dakota, just like in Montana, just like in Washington State, same here in Oregon. You try to turn in a bad cop, they'll make excuses to fucking arrest you. They'll ignore any crimes against you. And then they'll try to have you diagnosed with something that makes it okay that they didn't do their job. They'll send you to mental health over and over and over again. It's a big fucking joke and they know it. You get to hear from the mental health workers I recorded how they didn't do their jobs. People like Dr. Danelle Boggs. So how did they retaliate against me? Oh, they didn't like the fact they were recorded either. I don't give a shit. I recorded them breaking the law. Same thing with Darren O'Conner. He took advantage of me. He used me for his own personal gain. He exploited the fuck out of me. And the things that he did are valid in court. Should have been put into court immediately. He was a witness to the damage to my wrist, to the red marks. He even took a picture of it. He was a witness. Now he's a lawyer. He exploited an at-risk adult for his own personal gain. And then he tried to gaslight me to the other victims, the ones who I was trying to help. Gaslighted me to Michelle Rodriguez. Slandered me to Michelle Rodriguez. Slandered me to Sammy Leon Lawrence IV. So that they wouldn't help me. So that they would ignore me. And Sammy Leon Lawrence IV had already spent plenty of time bullying me. There are many other victims of this in Boulder County. Like Teresa Massilia. But she has assistance in doing these things. She has family that cares. She has the abilities. She also has looks that she can prey on to get money from you guys. And you do give her money, a lot of it. She lives well off. She has a van life channel now on YouTube. I've also got the recordings from her speaking up about some of my predators, because they did the same things to her. She was victimized, and then she was treated like the predator. You know what she said about going to the Boulder police after being raped? She said it was worse than being raped. I've been raped, and I can tell you, she's absolutely right. When anyone can do anything that they want to you at any point in time, and the officers are going to treat you like the criminal and grill you. You've been through a traumatic experience, and then they're going to harm you for it. They're going to harm you for coming forward. I have basically a non-stop mental breakdown that keeps me from being able to function because I am that afraid to go to police. I am that afraid that they're going to blow me off the first time because I'm alone. I can't just ignore the crimes. I have to turn them in, or these people continue to hurt me. They continue to have access to me while I have no access to actually turn them in. While these predators can take advantage of my disabilities to refuse to do their jobs when it comes to government officials. And my other predators, well, they know that government officials don't give a fuck about homeless people, especially men. All you have to do after raping somebody is call them mentally ill. How do you get away with committing a crime in the United States? Pick your victim wisely. Pick someone who is homeless. Pick someone who is disabled. Pick someone who is alone. Pick someone that the news paints as bad guys. Now we're on a kick here. We're going to call some other agencies. Tacoma News. Man killed in Tacoma shooting last month has been identified by the medical examiner. Tacoma News Tribune. Tacoma homicide stemmed. Tacoma News phone number. How do I contact Tacoma News Tribune? And the answer it gives me is you can cancel your subscription by calling 800-289-8711. Deliver your online access, general information, telephone. Let's click on that. Police use this protocol against the homeless nationwide. And all of these services, they've all been doing this for years. It's not a defunding thing. They've been doing this for years. Well, I guess we'll call this one and maybe they'll transfer us. Oops, unfortunately, we were unable to locate the page you requested. Please check the web address you entered and try again. I clicked on their phone number. contact us. King County, Washington News telephone number.
Here is information from King County.
How do I report a story to King 5 News? Oh, very nice. That'll work. King 5 broke a couple of stories up there too about the situation 72nd in Tacoma. Police not doing their jobs. Yeah. They've done several on the mental illness issue there and the drug issue there. Making these phone calls alone is likely to get me blown off or sent elsewhere, but I'm gonna try them anyway. Right.
Voicemail for the investigators VM. No one is available to take your call. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press the pound key for more options.
Hello, my name is Sean Schwartz. You guys have done some stories on the police corruption in Seattle as well as in Tacoma, and also quite a few shootings. I happen to have some information about several of the shootings and also about the corruption in the Tacoma Police Department, including some of their protocols of, taking advantage of people that they want to call mentally ill. And when somebody tries to turn in one of the officers in Tacoma, then they will arrest that person or take them to a different jurisdiction and just drop them off at the hospital. This is highly illegal, but it's also protocol that's used nationwide when somebody tries to turn in an officer. So I was hoping you guys might be able to call me back. I have broken news stories nationwide, including the story of Natalie Bollinger, the situation with Zaid Atkinson, as well as Boulder Police Department Officer Waylon Lolatai and the closing of Clearview Behavioral Health in Colorado. So I do have a lot of inside knowledge and a lot of useful information. My phone number is, one moment, 308, one moment. Anyway, my name is Sean David Schwartz, and I have a lot of stories I've broken, like I said, including the missing women of Hardin, Montana. Most of these stories I broke over a year before the news did, so I would really appreciate it if you got back to me. Again, my name is Sean Schwartz. Thank you. First place I was ever homeless was Seattle, Washington. Pike's Place Market. The first Starbucks I ever went to was the first Starbucks there ever was. Tiny place, very tiny place, so small. The last time I went in there, it wasn't any different from the first time I went in there. Homeless, cold, wet, hungry, and the lady at the counter paid for my coffee. Yeah, the first Starbucks ever. It was my first Starbucks ever, too. It was my first taste of kindness out of them people. A lot of people took advantage of me, exploited me, and it continues to this day. They pretend that I'm not disabled. Same thing everywhere I go, back and forth and back and forth. They always send me to someone else. It's always someone else's job. And that other place says it's not their job. And then I have to go back to the first place, and they send me there again, and I say, hey, I already called them. They said it's not their job. How about you guys stop arguing with me and start listening to my YouTube channel? You can hear them telling me it's not their job. Then again, you can also see on the news, many of these places, it is their job. When it comes to former prison warden and sex offender Sarah Nelson Torciello, I had to turn her and all of the people under her into her, including sexual assault by multiple guards in the Lincoln Correction Center. What am I supposed to do about that? Every time I've tried to turn it in, I've been bullied and sent somewhere else. I can't take care of myself. I can't take care of myself. Anyway, I gotta turn this off for a minute. I'm down to 5% battery. You know how we end these videos. Good to be rid of you. Thank you for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper, and your sister's too, and no victim left behind. Your bias should not decide who can be heard and who can't, who's guilty and who's not. My guilt was assumed and decided before ever there was a court date.